Unit 3, Retirement Planning, Lecture 4, Retirement Gap. Retirement Gap. A retirement gap, or retirement shortfall, is calculated between the difference of capital available and capital required. If an individual's capital available is greater than the capital required at retirement, they'll have a surplus in funds. If the capital they have available at retirement is less than what they require, they'll have a shortfall of funds. When calculating your retirement gap, you're going to work with annual contributions that increase, as well as earn interest at the same time. So to calculate the net rate between these two rates, you're going to use a resultant rate. In your formula, you have 1 plus I representing your investment rate, divided by 1 plus E is your escalation rate, minus 1 multiplied by 100. Principles when working with a resultant rate: always round off to 5 decimal places. Your calculator should be set in begin mode. Resultant rates can't be used to determine a future value. You can only determine a present value when working with a resultant rate. If I is greater than E, the resultant rate will be positive. If I is smaller than E, the resultant rate will be negative. I representing your investment rate, E your escalation rate. Question 1. Tanya has decided to retire today. She's 55 years old and her life expectancy is 19 years. She needs an income of 850,000 Rand per annum at the beginning of each year in retirement. The income needs to escalate at 6% per annum. Calculate the capital required. So here you are given an annual income that escalates. She can earn an interest rate of 11% and the life expectancy is 19 years. To calculate your capital required by Tandi, you are given an investment rate of 11% and an escalation rate of 6%. So you can calculate the resultant rate, rounded off to 5 decimal places. The life expectancy in retirement was 19 years. She required an annual payment of 850,000 Rand. And when the capital required at retirement is a present value of 11,09,563 Rand. Question 2. Tim is 50 years old and like to retire at the age of 60. You'd like to calculate his capital available at retirement. If he contributes 18,000 per annum to a provident fund, he increases his contribution by 7% per annum, and the provident fund will grow at 9% per annum. Calculate the fund value of Tim's provident fund after 10 years. In question 2, you are given an investment rate of 9%, an escalation rate of 7%, so you're going to calculate your resultant rate first. Tim retires in 10 years' time. He makes an annual payment of 18,000 Rand per annum. So the present value of his fund is 165,842 Rand. When using a resultant rate, we said we can only calculate the present value, not the future value. So in the first step, we calculated Tim's present value of all his contributions. Now we're going to grow that to a future value. So he retires in 10 years' time. The fund grows at 9%. Present value of all his contributions is your answer from step 1. And the future value, or the total value of his fund at retirement, 392,608 Rand. Martin Brundle is currently 40 years old. He'd like to retire at age 65 and like their retirement capital to last until Jenny turns 85 years old. They'd like to have 500,000 Rand per annum, escalating at 7% after retirement, and he can earn a post-retirement return of 10% compounded annually. You may assume a current inflation rate of 7%. Martin's current provisions for retirement include a retirement annuity fund, to which he currently contributes 56,838 Rand per annum. He increases his contributions by 10% per annum. The fund earns a return of 12% per month and has a current value of 500,000 Rand. Jenny has no provisions. You are required to calculate the retirement gap of Martin. So the difference between his capital required and capital available. For capital required, Martin retires in 25 years' time, and it's specified to like 500,000 Rand per annum in today's terms. So in 25 years from now, you have to increase that amount with inflation of 7% by calculating the future value, and then you'll also calculate your resultant rate. You're given an investment rate of 10%, escalation rate of 7%. Once you have your inflated value 25 years from now, you're going to use that as your payment. When Martin specified you'd like the capital to last until Jenny turns 85 years old. So the duration of retirement is a total of 25 years, and you use your resultant rate to calculate the present value representing your capital required. And your answer should be 49,658,883 Rand. For capital available, you calculate the present value of all Martin's contributions to the retirement annuity fund. Your payment will be the annual contributions of 56,838 Rand. He's retiring in 25 years' time. Your I will be your resultant rate, but because the fund earns a return compounded monthly, you have to convert that to an effective rate first when calculating your resultant rate. And for capital available, once you have your present value, you can grow that to a future value using the growth rate of a fund. Martin retires in 25 years' time. The current fund value is 500,000 Rand. It's going to add that to your present value plus your contributions, and then you'll have a fund value of 31,271,870 Rand. And you'll have a shortfall or gap of a difference between capital available and capital required.